Welcome back to the Bitter to Better podcast, Mom Moments. I'm here with Jill Dunn, who can be described as human, woman, mother, matchmaker. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So,
So,
what's been high? What's been low?
okay, so high is that singles are out. I've been very busy. There's so many incredible people that are really heart-centered and motivated to find someone that have been reaching out and just crossing my path and my desk at the right time for some incredibly authentic and inspiring connections lately. And low has been that I've spent most of my time working. I'm on the couch on a heating pad because I'm dealing with a situation.
Oh,
But
no.
we're on the mend.
Okay.
We see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Okay.
But my usual either working at my desk or working on my walking pad,
Right.
which has been a great addition to my life, has been replaced with me sitting
On
and
the
with lots of
sofa.
PT and time in the sauna
That
and
is okay.
stretches and blah blah blah. So that's
Okay.
been low, but
All
we're
right.
okay.
Okay. I'm glad you're
Yeah,
seeing the
I
light.
see the light.
Was it injury related or like health
It
related?
was just being 45 related, that the joys of that.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. My little my little spiel that I go off on right now is like the whole perimenopause
Yeah.
spiel. At least for me, like I'm entering it. And when you mentioned back, I immediately was slightly triggered because I dealt with frozen shoulder.
Oh, yes, yes. That's what I thought it was at first,
Okay,
but it wasn't. It was
okay,
something else. Yeah.
got it. Yes. So I hear you. I started HRT hormone replacement therapy
Yep.
that like helped with the frozen shoulder and all that
Great.
stuff. So it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
So I get it. You mentioned singles,
Yeah.
being out there, dating, all of that. Want to tell us a bit about what you do professionally?
Sure. So I'm a professional matchmaker. So what that means, and some people don't even realize that that's actually still a thing. You think
Mm-hmm,
it's like
mm-hmm,
an old fashioned, maybe just like what was that? Oh, Marvelous Miss Maisel,
mm-hmm.
that show. It's real. It's very real. And I collaborate with 200 matchmakers all over the world. It
Awesome.
is a thriving community of people that really are intentionally heart-centered, looking for connection and for love for people of all different ages and stages. So I do most of my work in Connecticut and New York City. And what I do is I feel like naturally the right people gravitate to me.
Mm,
They find me at the right time. Sometimes people have been following me for years, and then wherever they are in their life, or one thing I say in my newsletter or social, or a friend mentions, or they've heard about me one too many times, or lately I've been getting a lot of chat GPT sending people to me, which I'm not mad about.
yeah, yeah,
I will take that.
yeah.
And so however it flows, people find me, and then I feel like at the right same time, the person that I'm supposed to connect them with also comes across my path one way or another.
Nice.
But there is a lot that goes on behind the scenes. It's not just like, oh, you're nice and you're nice. And
Right. And
there are a lot of things that are important to people, obviously. And you're recently married, and
mm-hmm,
there's a lot of things that come into play to make sure that you're a compatible match for everybody at different ages and stages. So
right.
I have a woman in a relationship that's 24 years old in Manhattan that her father hired me, and then I'm also working with an 80-year-old man in in Kent, Connecticut. And so and everybody has different, and everybody in between. I have
Right.
17 private clients right now. So uh it is everybody's needs are specific, their goals are specific for everybody. Marriage isn't necessarily the goal
Mm-hmm,
for
mm-hmm.
everybody, but overall everybody just wants connection, someone to come home to, whatever that means, whether it's a
Right.
physical home or just home in a relationship,
Yeah, yeah.
connection, love. That's
All
what
of that.
everybody's looking for. So that's what I do. I help people find love, basically, in
Awesome.
a very basic way. Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of things you mentioned, like people are ultimately looking for some form of companionship, like you
Hmm.
said, like whatever uh kind of arrangement or agreement that's in, they're looking for, like you said, connection with other people.
Yep.
And then to your point of different stages, like that's a big one for me, right? Like I work with moms who are dating, so that's a very particular like life phase.
Yes.
Obviously there are moms of different ages, but on average my like clients are women in their 30s, 40s, 50s who have lived some life, had, past relationships and experiences. And I talk about how the stakes are higher when you have your kids involved,
Right.
right? Then it's not like when you're dating in your 20s and you're just like, I don't know, I'll figure it out.
Yep.
Now it's kind of like, we need to know a little bit. And then, like you said, like really identify like what we want and need in a relationship
Yeah.
and in a partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, who it's going to be beneficial to our kids, our household, all of those sort of things. So like
Yes.
it changes.
For me, so this work started for me because I got divorced. And so in my journey as a single woman, dating, managing, living alone with my kids, and how my kids come into play and all of it. One thing for me has always, the goal has always been that, nobody will be included in my life with my kids unless I know wholeheartedly that they'll be a good example for
Right.
what love looks like,
Mm,
right? Like
mm,
if my kids are going to see me with a man, they're going to see me being loved properly, and they're going to see, I have a son and a daughter, and so they have a father. I'm not looking for a father for them. He's a wonderful guy and they have a great relationship with him. But as far as seeing a love relationship,
yeah.
in our home, it is only going to be, somebody who would be a great example for my daughter about how she should be loved, how she should be treated and supported and cared for.
Yeah.
And then for my son also, and I mean, my son is 16 now. And so he's like, we're looking at colleges for him,
Yeah.
and he's like, listen, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and find a boyfriend so that I can like go to college and not worry about you. I'm like, what have I done to show you that I'm not
Right.
okay on my own, babe?
Right.
Like we are good. But of course,
Yeah.
he wants to see that. So the goal for everybody is different, but to me that is always it's like what we have so much control, believe it or not, and you know this,
Mhm, mhm.
at this time, it's different when you're 20 and you're starting a new relationship, you're figuring out who you are together.
Yeah.
But I am, and
Mhm,
he is. And
mhm.
so finding someone that you can be a bit malleable with, that you can form a life with, but also you trust in what a life together would look like
Yeah.
and how that would feel for your family and what type of example they're going to be for your kids. And my kids are older now, like I said, but what type of household will we have? My house is joyful and free and
Mhm.
a peaceful place,
Yeah.
and like there's just nothing that would be worth disrupting that unless it was going to add to it and make it better and more.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
As you're talking, like my brain is firing so many things. It's really fun to be in conversation with like another professional in the dating world.
Right.
A couple of things. One word you mentioned was control.
Hmm.
I like this concept of like I try to help women date and more empowered. And for
Yes.
me, that means more effectively, efficiently, and more enjoyably.
Me
And it
too.
means identifying the things you can control because I think there's a whole lot of women getting frustrated at the behavior of guys who they'll date or meet. And he's so this, why are all guys this and all of that? And I'm like, yes. And humans are humans
Yep.
and we cannot control another person.
Nope.
So we must look at what we can control ourselves, our behavior, things about our life circumstances, right? And like when we are focusing on those things, we are more empowered in our dating rather than feeling like just helpless victims out there.
Right. Somebody pick me.
Yeah,
We're not doing
yeah,
that.
yeah, no.
No.
Mm-mm.
No. We have so much control.
Yes,
Which
yes.
is okay, so there's a fine line with a feminine woman who wants a masculine man in a
Mhm.
relationship for trying to control things or trying to control him, but like you said, you're not going to. But we have control over our own peace and what we allow into our lives. And I had a client that hired me as a private matchmaking client, but she was before she hired me, she was in a relationship with a man who had serious drug addiction and alcoholism and just a real crisis in his life. And she's like, I'm so torn. I keep wanting to go back. And I'm like, listen, girl, you have a choice. You have control over what you want your life with your children
Yeah,
to be like.
yeah.
And it's one thing if you fall in love and you're in a life with somebody and you have children with them and then this is a part of your right, you're choosing to bring this addiction into
Mhm.
the life of your children. That don't make that choice. You have control over
Yeah,
this,
yeah.
and ultimately she didn't, and she's in a great relationship now with a really healthy guy and still in communication with the other guy who's still battling. and, she wishes him the best and she supports
Right.
him from afar, but he's not in the day-to-day disrupting the household.
Yeah, yeah. To your point of choosing, I would say you choose your friends, you choose your partners. Like
Yeah.
you don't choose your family.
Right.
In those cases, you might have to work on boundaries that you have with certain people in your family, but you choose your partners and your
Hmm.
friends. So why choose strife and burden and all of these things,
Right.
especially once you've gotten to a certain point in life again where the stakes are higher. And that I think what happens is people feel like they don't have control because emotionally they are very connected or tied or attached to someone.
Yeah.
So understandably, it's so uncomfortable, sad, heartbreaking, disappointing to let certain relationships go because of that emotional investment.
Yes.
But you have actual
You
choices
do, and also the
that you can
time
make.
investment. Sometimes people say,
Yeah.
"Well,
Yeah.
I already spent 2 years with them, so, like, I might as well stay with them for the rest of my life."
Right.
What?
2 years. Rest of your life.
I
2 years.
know. I'm like,
Yeah.
there is life after that. You
Hmm.
have a choice, and I feel like 10 out of 10 do not recommend divorce. It is exhausting, depleting, depressing. It's a horrible time. It's
Yeah.
so hard. But two people that are divorced, that are healed, that are moving on, that are dating have such an
Hmm.
opportunity for a really
Hmm.
cool, exciting
Yeah.
partnership with love and fun and lots of sex and like
Yeah.
so many good things can come from that stage where you're not number one. Again, kids are the greatest blessing, but having kids, that stage
With
of your
someone.
life,
Yeah.
having kids,
Most trying time of a relationship.
building your business, buying a
Hmm.
home, all these things are very heavy, and you're a lot of times you're building them on top of an unsteady foundation. It is bound to crumble.
Yeah.
And when you're, more established, you're financially secure now, you already know who you are, you have, your kids are fine, everything's okay. You are really in the driver's seat to
Yeah.
have the most incredible, cool partnerships that last a lifetime that you can just enjoy,
Yeah.
travel, and have, some disposable income and things when your kids are old. It's just like
All the things.
the
It's a
world is
different
your
life.
oyster.
Yes, it's a different
It
life,
is.
and yeah, I can speak to that. I mean, I'm remarried, which is like a little known fact. I was married for like a year and I was like 23.
Okay.
So I did not really live a married life, but
Okay.
technically. And then my husband is divorced after like 16 years, and we both
Oh.
already had kids coming into our relationship. So to your point, right, we have clearly establish who we are, what we want in life. We have our kids. We both did not want any more kids. So we're able to like build our home and our life from this way more informed,
Mhm.
healed, peaceful place than
Yeah.
I have ever been able to do when I think of past relationships.
Yep.
And so that's so true. And so it's the idea is like you have control, you have power,
Yep.
and you have control over your stuff.
Yep.
And the stakes are high, so let's not just be out here doing things all willy nilly.
Exactly.
Um, what are your thoughts on just like the current dating climate? And when I ask this, I think about it like I think of things people say on social media. The number of times someone will say to me, "So I saw on TikTok," and I'm
Yeah.
always concerned about which way this direction's going to go.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Uh huh,"
Right.
and then I'm
Right.
like, "What did you hear?" But just like, yeah, just whether it's personally, friends, social media, clients. What are your thoughts currently on the dating?
So typically I get, 5 to 7 phone calls a day from people that have decided to search for dating coaching or matchmakers because they are so burnt out and exhausted and
Mhm.
disheartened because of the current dating
Dating
climate.
climate.
And a lot of that is obviously dating apps. They are they're misused, they mistreat people in my opinion.
Mhm.
It's a huge responsibility
Yeah.
to have that sort of platform, and people they're designed to keep people on them. But you can outsmart any system, what I mean? They're a great opportunity to connect
All right.
with people. I've had one really significant relationship from somebody I met on Bumble.
Mhm.
It's just a matter of what you do with a connection, and as long as the dating app is used in a way that it's like the same way it's an opportunity to meet, like you met somebody at the library or the grocery store or a bar,
Yep.
what you do with that. But there's too much volume and there's too much appearances and um, untrue illusion
Mm,
that is set for people that you can special order a partner.
got it. Yeah.
Okay, so I want somebody who's makes this much money. I'm going to
Mhm,
filter out
mhm,
anybody
mhm,
who makes
mhm.
this exact amount of inches. Anybody under that inch, out. Will not meet them. They won't even show up in your
Yeah.
right.
Right.
What? I mean, if we actually think about that,
Yeah.
that is bananas.
Yeah.
But still, there's that filter. And people stand by it hard. They will die there with alone because a man is 5'11" and not six. Give me I can't. That drives me crazy. And of course, that's easier for me to say I'm 5'1". Everybody's
Mhm,
taller than
mhm,
me.
mhm.
But I mean, there are certain things that we need to loosen the
Yeah.
reins on.
I call it preferences versus deal breakers.
Yes.
Just that, exactly that. Like, yes, I, have a height preference, and
Right.
will that be a deal breaker for me if all of these other things that I like, other important things are
Hmm.
met? Like, will that be the thing that makes him say, "Well, no"?
Right.
Yeah.
But because of the way that the apps are set up, it's a deal breaker.
Right.
No, it's a hard no. So these men are not showing up. So it gives you this false sense that you can special order. And believe me, men have the same set of very specific preferences. But I will say one thing that I've learned from working privately with men and women is that everybody just wants someone to connect with. And
Mm,
so the reason that my private clients almost always by the time we're done working together are exploring a new relationship is because we're speaking about what makes them tick, right?
yeah.
And we're reflecting. They go on a date and then I talk to their date the next morning. I talk to them the next morning. We're refining, we're figuring out what did you enjoy about this connection? And if I send somebody out with actually there I mean there's so many. I swear I need a reality show. You would not believe the day to day. I need a
I can
GoPro
only
on me.
imagine.
But it is amazing to me how many people. I have 2 client weddings coming up in 2026, and one of them and 3 love stories that I have in mind too that are long-standing couples. They initially, one or both of them was like,
Mm,
not really my type,
mhm, mhm.
not really my physical preference, not exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm like, let's just meet
Yeah.
because I really have a good instinct when once I get to know a client
Mhm.
and I meet somebody else, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
yeah. And so the clients trust me. The ones that end up in relationship trust me. They follow my flow and they almost always end up in relationships. And a lot of times it's with people who they would have swiped no on. I can't
Mhm.
tell you. I need to compile a screenshot album of how many people saying, that was an awesome date, far exceeded my expectations. Definitely not somebody that I typically would have swiped on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But when you meet someone in person, and if you think about before dating apps, like how are people meeting like in the wild, right?
Mhm.
When you walk by somebody and you catch a vibe, you're like, oh, that's an attract. I like the way he smelled. I like the way he was treating that
Yeah.
woman or held the door open for that. That was an attractive man. Do you know exactly how many inches tall he is? Do you know
No.
what he makes? Do you know his political
Mhm.
preference? Do you know if he lives 26 or 25 miles from you?
Right. Right.
No. So like
Yeah.
let's let go a little bit. Like that's the opposite of the control we want. Like we want to
Mhm.
let go
Right.
on certain things.
Yeah. What you're getting at is using dating apps as a directory and not, I literally say that, not a matchmaking service or a date, or using them to date. And I
Right.
always say that that sounds like counterintuitive. It's a dating app. Really, it's a directory for meeting potential dating partners, is what it
Totally.
is. It's
Yeah.
the phone book.
Yep.
It's like, oh, yeah, maybe, sure, sure. And then you have to actually get off the app
Yeah.
and get into
Meat.
person
Yeah.
and talk to them, to your point, because that's where you get the nuances and the intricacies, where it's like, yes, this person, I had certain ideas or preferences, but in getting to know them in this area, that outweighs this, that
Yeah.
smooths this. Like, that's how attraction is
Hmm.
actually built.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's I tell people when I set up a first date, I'm like, the only thing you need to know when you leave this date is whether or not you
Yeah.
felt good enough in their company
To
that you
go on
want
a second date.
another date.
That's it.
And You don't need to know if your whole everything, all your check boxes
Mhm.
are what a lifetime together will look like. People will say, "Well, I feel bad. I don't want to lead them on because I'm not sure." I'm like, "How you can't be
Right?
sure.
Were you supposed to know
You spent
tonight?
2 hours with a
Right.
stranger over dinner. If you were sure, I would be concerned."
Mhm.
There's nothing that you can know for sure after
Right.
that limited exposure to somebody.
Right.
You need to
Yeah.
share experiences. You need to have time together, let other things come to the surface, be in uncomfortable situations together, laughing together. Like, do you laugh? You know,
Yeah.
you can go out on 10 dates with someone. And that this actually happened to me. I went out on 5 or 6 dates with somebody. This was a couple summers ago. Really nice guy. By all accounts, met everything that I was looking for. Our lives would have aligned. All the things.
Right.
And I just kept saying to my girlfriends, like, Something is missing and I cannot figure out what it is."
Mhm.
And then one day it hit me and I went, "We have not laughed once." And
Oh.
I'm pretty funny.
Oh.
I know. And I'm like, I'm not a clown, but
Right,
I'm
right.
pretty funny.
Right.
I
Right.
I do. And I'm like, damn, this
Wow.
is not it. Like,
Oh.
and I actually said that to him. And I'm like, men that I've dated, they get the full download after just about my experience, and I want to download from them. I'm like, how do I
Yeah.
appear to you? How am
Yeah.
I, because I'm showing up authentically, but like give me the date recap feedback like I
Mhm.
get from my clients, because not everybody wants to. And
Right.
but I mean, there's a lot that can be discovered from that. And that's, why I always tell people about dating in general. Like, the juice is in the journey,
Mm.
and keeping that mindset where not every date has to be.
The one
It's
or like
not.
and
It's
I was statistically speaking, it won't and can't be if
it's
you're looking for,
one.
right, one person. It's like, no, no,
It's not
like
gonna be.
it's not gonna
This
be.
is I'm gonna go out on a date tonight. It's probably not gonna be my guy, but it could be.
Mhm.
And if you think about every great love story, right? There's one day that they didn't know this person, and then they did the next.
Yeah.
So keeping that perspective that it can be, but it might not be. But what are you going to do with this opportunity? What are you going to do with this experience? And learning and growing from each. I mean, that is huge. And keeping the mindset that you are meant to be right where you are. And I thought for sure when I got divorced that I was going to get remarried right away,
Mm.
probably have another baby or two, and I'm so glad that that didn't happen right away, because number 1, it led me to this work,
Yeah.
but also the partnership that I would have accepted and fallen into then is not the partnership that I have,
Mhm.
that I'm capable of.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have been a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
So I had a lot to learn. I had a lot to do and a lot of growing to do. And like I said, it led me to this work. I wouldn't change the path of it in any way. But like, if I was only had this like sinking feeling like, well, another bad date, that wasn't it. That wasn't the guy.
Mhm.
You're getting nowhere with that.
Yeah, the discouragement.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the I feel like one of the biggest challenges a lot of women I work with come into contact with, whether it's the dating apps, whether it's in person. They're like, that didn't go well. I'm over it. I'm done."
Yeah.
I'm like, "That,
I
wait,
know.
hold on,
Right.
wait a second.
Hmm.
I get it. You're disappointed. You're frustrated. All of those things. But I'm
It
like,
is.
anything worth having takes work. The, you are dealing with the human population.
Yeah.
We don't
I gotta
get
find
to
this.
we like don't get to
Yes.
bypass dealing with the goods, the good, the bad, the ugly of
Yeah.
human interaction. Like you don't get to just go out there and just everything was great. No, no, no. We keep looking, we search, we because another thing that I oftentimes run into in my personal experience as well is again in your earlier years, a lot of times you end up falling into or sliding into relationships and
Yep.
commitment
Mhm.
rather than intentionally
Yes.
dating,
Huge
vetting people,
difference.
right?
Huge difference.
And so a lot of us are just conditioned with that in mind. So
Yeah.
this idea, I get, and then again, that's where some of the fairy tale stuff comes from, and like, oh, I'll just know, and he'll just appear, and he'll just arrive. And when people say that, like, I cringe
Yeah.
so bad. I'm just like, I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's comparable to like interviewing. I always say you're the human
Right.
resource director of your life.
Yes.
They, post a job position. Do you think that the hiring department, someone comes in and says, I'm the perfect person for the job, it's me, yep, that's it. And they're like, yeah, come on.
Yeah.
No, no, no. They're going to interview candidate after candidate. And
Yes.
the ones that rise to the top, they're going to interview them a second, maybe a third time.
Yes.
That is what you were doing when you're dating. You were romantically interviewing people.
For sure.
And if that is what people will do for a job, why do you think that for your actual life, that type of work and effort wouldn't be
Right.
necessary?
Where they're going to be interwoven into every aspect of your life. My colleague, Evan Mark Katz, I don't know if you know him, but he has like some incredible dating advice for women specifically he works with. But he says hire fast, fire often, or
Mhm,
hire
mhm.
or hire. Basically, he's saying,
Yep.
you know,
Bring them on
bring
and,
it on,
like,
but like don't hang
put
on
'em
to him if it's not right. Like fire quickly or
yeah.
whatever. He's gonna kill me if I mess that up. Um but I saw this is this ancient proverb, right? It says if you choose, and of course there's like 2 feet of snow outside. It says if you choose not to find joy in the snow, you will have less joy, but the same amount of snow.
Mm,
And I was like,
mhm,
well,
mhm.
damn, that is so true. And it's not about snow. You know what I
Yep,
mean? It's
yep. It's
like,
about life. It's
it's
about
about
learning to dance in the rain,
it's
dance in the
about
storm.
dating, it's about your life, it's about, yeah, like if you choose to not identify the good things about these experiences that you're having along the way, not only are you still single, but you're
Mhm,
also miserable,
mhm,
basically. You
mhm.
know what I mean?
Yep,
The
yep.
the the joy and the juice is in the journey. And if you're not learning and expanding and growing and helping other people to do the same along the way, then like what are you doing?
Yeah,
Then it is a waste.
yeah,
Then it is
100%.
disheartening. Yeah.
Never let a negative experience be in vain. So whether it's a job that you didn't
Right.
like, a date you didn't like, what can I gain from that? As you're saying, what can
Yep.
I learn from that? I like to always say, I'm like, okay, so let's take a date. I always tell people, I'm like, best case scenario, it's a wonderful match. It's you find the person, it's
Yeah.
lovely. Worst case experience, you have a story to tell. And I have some stories to tell, and
Oh,
they're
me
quite
too.
entertaining, right? Like, so I'm taking something away from this experience. I'm finding a new restaurant, I'm having a new experience, I'm
Uh,
gaining some interesting information, or I'm coming back with a story you wouldn't believe,
yes, I definitely
right?
have some of those.
Yeah. So,
And also you're learning about your experience with this man, about what was it about him that felt good, what was it that didn't.
mhm,
And I feel like I was in a relationship for like 2 years with somebody that, and it was over COVID, so that was like a vortex, but that we both knew from the very beginning that it wasn't going to be a lifetime.
mhm,
We had different, I already had my kids, he wanted to have kids, he was younger than me, and some people would look at that time as wasted, and I will admit it went on way too long because we got
mhm,
comfortable and whatever. But the way that we were expanded me, it really did. And it unlocked a level of me, of the way that I wanted to be desired
mhm,
by someone
mhm,
that I had never experienced before. And so to me, like again, people would look at it, even certain people that are very close to me look at it like that was a waste of your time. You should have been,
mhm.
and I'm like, again, maybe it went on too long, but I don't think it was a waste. That was a really important experience for me. And it leveled me up in a lot
Yeah,
of ways. And then also really made it very clear to me the things that I do not want and
yes,
will not take in somebody that I commit to going
yes.
forward.
Literally the word that I was going to say was clarity. You
Yeah.
said it exactly that. Like those things, like I have a little sign over here that says, get my little a little growth grow through what you go through.
Yeah.
Like those things, the clarity that comes from. So when you were speaking about how you got into the work you're doing, how I got into the like dating coaching for moms was my last relationship before my marriage. I When I ended it, I literally said to myself, I'm going to be intentionally single for some period of time because previous to this, I had not been. I had been
Right.
someone who fallen into or slid into a relationship, would have, a committed relationship. and realized that I had not done any of the vetting and sorting and sifting that I really needed to do to make sure, or to be for it to be most likely that this was a good partner for me, right?
Right.
And so, but that relationship in particular, like, it was a light bulb. I was like,
Mhm.
okay, where do I have some sense of, again, influence in my life, and I'm not just kind of ricocheting all around and falling into, a situation.
Yeah.
And that was like when I spent 2 years dating, like 2 years intentionally going on dates, meeting guys, saying yes, no, I like that, I don't like that,
Yep.
no,
So
I
important. That's huge.
huge.
That's that is why you're in a happy marriage now,
Yeah.
because you are aware of what those experiences meant.
Hmm.
So, keeping for clients, keeping their mindset there about what are you extracting from each opportunity or interaction, that it goes so far. It
Yeah.
makes a huge difference. And keeping on, obviously, also the resources flowing. People who I'm connecting with, clients are, they're high caliber singles who are obviously intentional. They have to essentially jump through flaming hoops before they meet my client. So you have to, there is so much value in that alone,
Right.
because it's not just like a swipe, like you up, like go meet. No, none of that. It's like these are like,
We're not Netflix and chilling.
no, we are not. We're going out on a date. The man's paying for it. There are first date rules that everybody knows about, which are,
Mm,
you know, don't talk about politics, don't talk about the matchmaker, don't have sex, and the man pays. And also be kind, have fun. First date's just a vibe check. Don't overthink it.
yeah.
I'll talk to you tomorrow. And and that, for a lot of people, is very helpful. It's like, okay,
Right.
this is not the weight of the world.
I
The
don't have to like go to my checklist and know every single thing in
Yeah,
that
and you
moment. Yeah.
shouldn't.
Yeah.
First date should not be a job interview. You don't need to be like, all right, well, give it to me straight. Do you want da, 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 da?"
Right. Right.
No. Just, did you have fun with them? Did you feel attractive? Did you feel attracted? Did they make you laugh a little
Yeah.
bit? Did you have fun? Did you like the way that they treated the people around you?
That,
How did you feel? Like, did your heart
yeah.
feel good? Did you feel comfortable, at ease?
Safe mentally, physically, emotionally. Do you want to hang out with them again?
Do
Do
you
you
want
want to be in their presence again?
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. We don't need to know what your baby's name's going to be. Where you're
Yes.
gonna raise your, are you moving to the suburbs? You don't
Yeah.
need to know that yet.
Yeah.
Just
Agreed.
just chill.
Agreed.
Mm.
Um, with the work that you do, also being a mom, just curious, and you have teenagers,
Yeah.
right? So I imagine they're aware of what you do.
Oh, yeah.
What are their thoughts on that? How does that impact at all? Like, they're again teenagers, so getting to meeting, other, peers, and
Yeah.
like possible exploration of romantic relationships or things like that. I'm just
Yeah.
curious how that
Yeah, so my
happens
kids
for you.
are my, we're a team, and they have been very involved in, we're we are really tight, and because we've lived alone, for 10 years now, they're very involved in everything. And in fact, when, I've been doing this work for now 8 years, but I always had sort of like another job or other things up until about 3 or 4 years ago, when I just told the kids, like, "I care the most about this. I'm feeling like everything else is a distraction and is interfering with not only business development and growth for Jill and it, but for the way that I can impact other people's lives, how much energy I can put into it." And so I sat them down and we had a very real conversation, because I'm like, I'm cutting off like 3 other income streams right now,
Mm,
just so you know.
yeah.
So this is going to be either really good or really bad, but either way, don't worry. We'll
Right.
always eat. We won't be on the street. Mom will always figure it out. And, they were both like, "Go for it, mom. Like, you got this."
Um,
I know. And they're so proud of me. They see how hard I
mhm.
work. They know how much I care about my clients. And, and they overhear me, my side of conversations. And, they'll say, like, how did that date go? Or like,
Oh,
I had an 88-year-old client that I was working with for a long time, and they would periodically ask me, like, "How's that going? Is she still in that relationship?" I'm like, "Yeah."
oh, they're invested. I
They
love
are.
it.
They're
Yeah.
like rooting for people just the way I am, and they're rooting for me, and so they are such a huge piece of of all of this
Yeah.
and why, and of my personal journey, of my business journey, and then like you said also, I mean, they're at that age now where they're out in the world, they're doing their thing and interacting with new people. They're both in high school, and
Yeah.
so I just think that them seeing, and they're good people anyway at their core, but having access to this sort of information and these resources and seeing not only that I operate my business ethically, I care so much about people, and that I'm emotionally invested right along with, I mean, I laugh,
Mm.
cry with my
Mhm.
clients. I mean, it is, dating is an emotional journey, and I am on 17 emotional roller coasters at a time, 18 if you count mine.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it is intense
Yeah.
and it is exhausting sometimes. And so I think that is like a challenge for me. And, also probably part of the reason why I'm still dating myself, because
Mhm.
when it comes to my own, I have all of these balls in the air, all of these people turning to me saying, like, oh, I really want a fourth date with this guy, but I haven't heard from him. Or did you hear anything from this one? Or a little.
Right.
And that weighs so heavy on me, and I care about them, and I want everybody to succeed. I'm like, is this gonna be the one for them that works out? And then, at the end of the day, when it comes down to me, I'm like, nothing left.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing left.
Yeah, that is a balance. I mean, how do you balance that? What is your self-care? What brings you peace, joy, or
Yeah.
excitement?
So this has been like the last few months have been especially intense. I just think with generally this time of year, like from Thanksgiving through Valentine's Day, the beginning of March, is super intense for
Mm.
singles in general.
Mhm.
People are like, I'm going into another holiday season alone, or it
Right.
was like Valentine's Day. Whether or not they care about it,
Right.
they're aware that there are other people that are celebrating their love right now,
Mhm.
and I'm not.
Yeah.
And so that's intense. And so because of that, a lot of people are reaching out looking for solutions. And I can't just let people, contact me and be like, sorry, I'm busy. So I take on a lot, but I also really, I do have, like, I'm at max right now, but I have a waiting list. But there's other ways that I work with people. I have group program, I have the
Mm.
love club,
Mm.
I have a self-guided course for women, and I have coaching programs and different things,
Right.
events. So I try to offer something to everybody at different ages and stages of where they are in their journey.
Yeah.
And but the balance for me in my personal life, and I made a promise to myself, not at the new year, but I guess at my new year, my birthday in September, that I'm going to start prioritizing my own and scheduling my own in there, like the
Mm.
way that I allot, 7 hours to each client
Yeah.
each week.
Yeah.
um
Wait, it's
I
7
know.
hours to each client each
Yeah,
week?
yeah, so do the math on that.
I don't want to. Wait, what? I'm like, okay, so this many days in a week that wait,
I
what?
know. Yeah,
Okay.
and I so fortunately I have staff now. I have 3 people
Okay.
that work with me. That had to be.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
'Cause I'm like, and I'm not great at math,
yeah,
but
you're
doing the
like,
math, I'm like, wait,
you're like,
I
I
have
think we're out
no
of
winter
hours.
sleeping?
I know.
Yeah.
So there's definitely, my team supports that. I have full-time recruiter on the team who's out looking for people online and boots on the ground, looking for appropriate matches for clients. And I'm the one that's screening them. So I'm front of the line now, and I have people that work with me that help support what I do. So it's more efficient.
Right.
So that helps a lot. But so it's a good thing
Yeah, yeah,
overall that I have, that there are people every day reaching out, and I do not take it lightly, but it is heavy
mhm,
sometimes. And so I need to prioritize myself sometimes, but also I have a major obligation to people that I do not take lightly.
yeah,
So I personally am in a place where I am really ready for a true partnership. And I recently met somebody who is a very solid contender.
okay,
So we'll see about that.
alright,
Maybe I'll
okay.
come back this time next year
Yeah,
and we'll
yeah,
be
yeah,
celebrating an anniversary.
lovely. Um, And so, like you said, you work on scheduling your time. What is your time? What do you like to do? Even if you don't get to do it as much as you want,
Right.
what do you like to do?
Well, when I leave here, I'm gonna go sweat out this prosecco in the sauna at the gym. I love to get in the sauna.
Okay.
I have a personal trainer that I work with twice a week. That has been a game changer for me. So physical activity, audibles. I love to listen to books.
Mhm,
Like
mhm.
I love to strap on a weighted vest, go for a long walk, and
Nice.
just listen to like a love story or like a psychological thriller or
Yeah.
something weird, and just forget about in a sense, that's my meditation, just, like,
Mhm.
click out, right? So, moving my body helps me a lot. I love that, reading love stories and, other books. What else do I like to do? I mean, I love to travel, I love to dance, I love live music. I'm very blessed, very rich in friendship. I have so many really great, great girlfriends. I've got a really tight group of girlfriends that we, jokingly call ourselves the DMVC, the Divorce Moms Vacation Club. And,
Love it.
it's a blast, and we have so much fun, and we tonight we're meeting at one of the girls' house just for wine and play
Nice.
cards and hang out, and, so key
Yeah.
to
Mhm.
just have people that get you, that are there for you. We travel together with and without our kids, you know, and they're all in long-term relationships, but there's an understanding and a knowing when you are able to be in a room with people who get you
Yeah. We've
and
been
your
through it. Yeah.
yeah, get your experiences, and I think that's a lot why, people that have been divorced, men and women, feel comfortable and a level of understanding reaching out to me because I really do understand, and also, I understand dating in a very real time
Yeah.
sense,
Mhm.
and, I'm like, I'm in the thick of it with
Right.
you,
Right.
and I've certainly had long-term relationships, and I've certainly had haters that have sent me, like, stupid emails like, "How can you be a matchmaker if you're
Oh, if
single?"
yeah, yeah, that's
And I'm
always
like, "Do you know how many people are in unhappy relationships just to not be divorced?" I'm like, "No."
that can be an entirely
I know.
podcast. Like, as a marriage and family therapist, I talk about this. People fixate on like divorce rates being like around 50% and all of that. But I'm always like the marriages that are still together legally, let's now talk about the percentage of those that are actually healthy and happy.
Right.
Way lower than
Way
50%, my
lower.
friends. Way lower than
And I would love
50%.
to see a statistic on round 2 marriages where 2 divorced, healed, enlightened
Right. People
people
together.
come together. I would love to see that statistic because I bet those marriages are much happier,
Yeah. Yeah.
where you really can have an understanding about who you are, what you want in right now and what you want long term, how you can show up for each other. And, there's someone for everyone at every different stage. And certainly there were relationships that I could have stayed in
Mm-hmm.
since I've been divorced.
Yeah.
And it was my choice not to. And sometimes it was their choice not to. And that was a blessing in retrospect.
Yeah.
But it's all good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just,
A part of the journey.
we're all
And
where we're supposed to be.
exactly. Part of the journey where we're supposed to be, and ideally you're pulling things from those experiences,
Of
the
course.
good and the bad.
Yeah, of course.
I guess like just kind of lastly on the mom tip, any mom hacks, anything that's made parenting easier or that you've learned that is helpful.
I mean, how long you got?
Another podcast as well.
What have I learned? I think that the key to a happy household in of the to our happy household is that we are all a part of the team.
Mm,
And so now that my kids are teenagers, obviously they have more responsibility. But again, when I got divorced, the kids were 4 and 6. Now they're 14 and 16.
mm,
I always made a real effort to make sure that although I want them to be involved in the household in day-to-day, responsibilities, I never wanted to ask more of them than they would have been responsible for if their dad was still living
mm,
with us.
mm.
So it's not like, well, you need to start, earning an income or
Right,
contributing in not age appropriate ways,
right.
but just contributing in age appropriate ways and feeling like you're investing, I mean, they do their own laundry, they pack their own lunch, they pack their own water bottle, now they're young adults
Yeah,
now. I mean, there's no reason for them not to do that.
yeah.
but just having them as part of a household, and it's just like, well, for a while, my son would have like a glass of water or whatever, a snack in his room,
Mm.
and he would put the water and the cup in the hallway. If I was like, "Sir, I'm sorry, room service isn't coming today. You better know what to do with that plate." And he was like, "I'm sorry, mama. Like, I didn't mean it like that." You know what I mean?
Right,
He was like, "I
right.
was just putting it out there because I didn't want it in my," but I was in the habit of just being like, "Oh, that doesn't go
Yep,
there and pick it
right,
up." And
pick
then I'm
yeah,
like, "No, that's not helpful." So
yeah,
yeah, that's my sort of mom hack for a happy life is they need to be a part
of the
of the
household.
household. They need
Yeah,
to be a part of, and they've been a part of my business and of my growth as a business and their very real struggles. And for me, it's always been really important to be able to be there for them and keep a balance of like, I was always room mom, drove on all the field
mm,
trips. I was able to pick them up from school and drop them off at school. My son's driving now, so I'm like barely ever in the
yeah,
car with them. It's just
yeah,
so hard, freeing. I've got like 4 more hours in every
right,
day. So that's where some of those other 7 hours per client come. But, that being there with them is huge, but also sometimes now, especially that business has expanded, that they're older, having an understanding for them to have an understanding that like sometimes there's a trade.
yeah,
Like we have this successful business now, we're thriving, we're growing. I can like probably pay for your college now, you know what I mean? Whereas like 10 years ago I was like, "Oh,
right,
what are we going to do? Hopefully you guys don't want to go to school."
yeah,
But
yeah, no, it's really yeah,
but we're on a great path, but having a real dialogue with the kids that there are trade-offs
mhm,
in life.
yeah, it's as we grow, right, it's getting the realities of life, the highs and lows. I always say, like, with growing up, the privileges that we oftentimes see come with those responsibilities
Yep.
as well, and yeah,
Yes, yes. So it's all good. Keeping a balance, I think, is just it's a goal. It's every day
yeah,
I try and keeping boundaries with clients, especially because I get so close with clients and I hold them so close to my heart. And
yeah,
especially when they have a date on a Saturday, I'm like, try so
yeah,
hard
you're
to
like,
stand firm
yeah,
to my office hours, which end at 1 o'clock on Saturday and start back up again at 10 a.m. on Monday because I like to get to the gym before I open the office and
yeah,
all. But that's fine tuning for years of me being like, okay, the world isn't going to fall apart if I don't start at 9. I can
yeah,
start at 10 because
mhm,
inevitably I'm working till 8 or 9 anyway. So, like,
mhm,
let me just do me first
yeah,
and then I'll get there and I can
mhm,
show up in a better way.
good for you.
Yeah.
Right. Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining me,
Thank
Jill.
you.
If people want to find you, work with you, I will put all the information that's in the show notes, but also you want to tell people how to reach you?
Sure. Yeah. So you can reach me at 888 Jill Love is my 800 number, 888 Jill Love, Jillinit.com, or you can email me hello@jillinit.com. And those all go right to me. You can
Fabulous.
call or text 888 Jill Love and I'll get back to you.
Wonderful. All right.
Thank you.